Hi, this is Professor Chicagoalmose. Today I want to talk about neighborhood safety in Chicago for ESL students. This is not a scientific statement. It's just based on my many years of living here and my gut feelings about neighborhoods and so forth in Chicago. It may be useful. First of all, if you are north and near the lake, you're fairly safe. If you're walking around earlier than 10 o'clock in the evening or in the morning when there seems to be people around. There are other safe neighborhoods. The Lincoln Park neighborhood is fairly safe, although there have been over the years attacks on runners, female runners in the park, and there are attacks on women and break-ins in apartments on the near north side, like Lincoln Park. It's generally considered a very pretty safe neighborhood. I've lived about 3,500 north near the lake at one time for many years, and I used to come home late at night and park my car in different nearby neighborhoods, and I never had a problem. It's just some information, not scientific. If you go northwest, fairly, within a mile or two from the lake, you're still doing pretty good. If you go to Loyola, it's fairly safe, but you don't want to be coming home very late at night. The Yale's platforms, there have been problems there over the years. Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper there, like on Sheridan Road, near the lake. Not much you can walk to except the lake, but the transportation is good downtown with the bus, 147 bus. Downtown is expensive, but if you can double up, of course, you might want to live there. A lot of people live in 4 or 5 apartment, and it seems to work for them if they can find one. Usually near DePaul University, a little bit west on Fullerton, about 24 to north. There are some apartments where you can double up. There's some bulletin boards on the at DePaul in the student center sometimes about apartments, and that's a fairly safe neighborhood. Now on the south side, you've got IIT, and they have student housing around there. And I've been over there, in Lake Meadows, it's called. I think that's about 20 to 3,000 south. IIT is about like 3,500 south, I think. Right near the university, people live and they walk around during the day. But those neighborhoods west of there, just west of the University of IIT and Sox Park, could be very, very dangerous. And when I say dangerous, we're talking about gangs, we're talking about people on drugs who are unemployed, who need money. That's what we're talking about. If you go near to the West Loop, it's pretty much built up, but you don't want to go too far. If you go near, like west of the United Center where the Bulls play, it's extremely dangerous. And I had a student that got attacked walking home from there about 12 at night, but he's okay. Now, you talk about Hyde Park, which is 57th Street near the University of Chicago, a wonderful neighborhood during the day, high crime at night. I had a friend, an adult, not a student, a teacher, who got attacked. He lives in Hyde Park. And I know of other attacks. There's holdups and rapes in the Hyde Park area. Nice place to visit during the day. So you don't want to go too far west on, once you get on the south, you don't want to go too far west. 3, 4, 5 blocks maybe, but not more than that. You might be thinking, well, where should I live? Neighborhoods that aren't you can live near IIT, or they have the housing at Prairie Shores near the lake on the south side, and Lake Meadows. There's a lot of students there now. They seem to work it out pretty much, but don't go on your own and find housing near IIT, for example, without some serious guidance, because you might end up in a neighborhood you wish you weren't in. Rule of thumb, as I said, try to be home by 10. Of course, the more people together that you're hanging out with, the safer you're going to be. Try to not go on the train past 9 o'clock, the L train, or 10 o'clock. They have more security now, but it could be dangerous. Buses are fairly safe, up until about 11, 12. I wouldn't recommend a young lady to go on a bus at 11 o'clock by yourself in Chicago. Foreign students, especially if they're Asian and they look foreign, are targets for crime. It's just the way it is. So I don't mean to scare anybody, but you need to be alert to being safe in Chicago. Also, there's a lot of street people asking you for money. Rule of thumb, I'm sorry, but don't give them any. You start pulling out your wallet, and people will see you, and it becomes a problem. You also you want to be careful about pulling out money in any store. Be very careful about that. Well, those are my ideas right now. It's not complete, not scientific, and of course you could be safe or unsafe in any neighborhood. And when I say be careful, what does that mean? Okay, thanks.